Welcome back to All Things Plastics, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of beauty, aesthetics, and plastic surgery from a nurse's point of view. I'm your host, Jillian, and today I'm so excited to introduce the guest who truly embodies the modern aesthetic nurse hustle. Meet Claire, a 26-year-old powerhouse originally from Boise, Idaho, now based in Los Angeles. With 3 years of experience in medical aesthetics, dermatology, and plastics, Claire works at two standout med spas, Janelle Beauty and Silk Medical Spa. But she's not just killing it in the clinic. Claire is also a TikTok star with over 110,000 followers and a growing presence on Instagram where she creates content focused on hair, skincare, and overall beauty. She's passionate about educating and inspiring her audience, and today she's here to share her journey and insight with us. We're diving into aesthetics, social media, post-op care, and everything in between. So let's get into it. Let's welcome Claire to the podcast.
Hi, that was amazing.
Oh, thank you. It's a mouthful, but you deserve your flowers. I was so excited to interview you and dive into everything. I found you and I was like, oh my God, we need her on the pod ASAP.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here. I literally love talking about this stuff. So let's get into it.
Yes. And your skin, your hair, glowing. I need all your tips. I love it.
Thank you. Well, it's what my social media is about.
You're going to spill all the tea for the girls, but let's get into it. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey? How did you go from Boise, Idaho to working in aesthetic scene in OC, LA?
So I talk about this a lot on social media as well. Basically, before I went into nursing school, I knew that aesthetics is what I wanted to do. I had my sights set on that and nothing was going to stop me, pretty much. I knew I didn't want to stay in Idaho forever. I always had this feeling that I was meant for more. I originally was looking for jobs in San Diego. That was my dream city to live in. And I ended up finding a job in LA. And I was like, okay, I guess this is where the universe is taking me. And literally a week after I walked across the stage and got my nursing degree, I packed up my car and drove down to Los Angeles.
Oh my God, you're a brave soul. And the difference from Idaho to LA, holy shit.
Yes. Oh my God. It was a culture shock for sure. But
yeah,
I think that change and growth comes through discomfort. So I sucked it up and
100%.
Here I am 3 years later.
And you're thriving. You're killing the game.
Yes. No, life is good. But my life has totally changed in the last 3 years since I've been in LA. My life, my personal life, but also my career and my growth as a nurse has totally taken off. So that's how I got to LA. I actually got a job before I graduated from nursing school. A month before I graduated, I got my job. I moved to LA and then I took my NCLEX, passed my NCLEX, got my license in California.
Oh, yeah. You're smart to take your NCLEX in LA.
Exactly.
In Cali. Yeah. Oh, you're so smart. I love that. You were a new grad and your job was oh, I'm going to take you on as a new grad. No problem. It's fine.
So that was the hard part. That's the tricky part about aesthetics, is getting your foot in the door. And that's what that's what most nurses ask me about. It's how did you get your job with no experience?
Yeah. And before we get into that, I want to ask you, what drew you, you said when you were in nursing school, this is what I want to do. But did that start as because Idaho, there's not really a lot of beauty or Botox. I mean, not that I'm aware of, it's not big out there. Were you in college, I want to be a nurse and I want to do aesthetics, or once, how did that come up?
My story into aesthetics is it's a good one. It's kind of long, but I'll try to make it short. I had heart surgery when I was 7, and literally from that day, I knew I was going to be a nurse. The nurses in the hospital were amazing. I remember the nurses that took care of me, vividly to this day.
Oh, I love that.
And then I grew up. I started working in medicine. I was a nursing assistant, which, if you've been a CNA, you know how hard of a job that is.
I started off as a CNA too, girl. Yes. CNA to LVN to RN.
So you know the hustle.
The hustle? Yes. A CNA in a hospital.
Mm-hmm. When I was doing that, I was I had so many doubts. I was is medicine really what I want to do? Because for me, I'm a very emotional person, and I definitely can feel other people's emotions. So working in an environment like a hospital or a nursing home, just medical settings.
It's tough. Oh
my God, it is so tough when people are literally sick and dying. And not only are you their caregiver, but you're their emotional support too. That was really hard for me emotionally and physically. Mm-hmm. And I went through this early life crisis because I had grown up thinking I'm going to be a nurse. Like literally a decade of my life. I was like, I'm going to be a nurse. And then everything kind of changed. I was like, I don't know if I want to be in the medical field, all this stuff. Then I was 18 or 19 and I met an aesthetic nurse. And I was like, hold on,
Ooh.
you're a nurse? Like you can do this as a nurse?
You're not in the hospital slaving away? Wait, what?
Yes. I got lip filler when I was like 19 because that was, like the Kylie Jenner lip challenge. This was back in like
King Kylie era.
Yes, this was back in like 2016, 2017. I got my lips done by this nurse. She changed my life. Her name is Christina. I tell her this all the time, but she lives back in Idaho. And then that lit this fire with me. I was like, no, you know what? I'm still going to go to nursing school. And here I am now.
Yeah. And being a CNA, whether you're doing private duty or you're in a hospital or you're in a nursing home, it is hard. It makes you reconsider life. Like, is this what they do? Are we just like, what? But it's like, no, you have to keep on going because as you know, as a nurse, there's so many areas that you can work under and do. And you don't have to be a bedside nurse. You can go work for an insurance company. You can do anything you want. So it's like,
I'm such a huge advocate for non-traditional nursing roles because I mean, as nurses, we can literally do anything.
Literally. And I love that story. That's so heartfelt. And my aunt, she's a nurse and she was a labor and delivery nurse. And my mom had me at a very young age. My mom had me at 17, 18. So she would ask my aunt to babysit me. And this was back in the day. She used to take me to the hospital, work with her. I would sit in the nurse's station. And whenever the call lights went off, I would go deliver like water or like go check in. I would have like my little volunteer, like little top on. And I wasn't a volunteer. I was like 10 or 11, right? I had no right being there. But this was back in the day. Her nursing supervisor was like super chill. They loved me. And ever since then, I was like, no, I didn't want to be in labor and delivery. I knew that. But I was like, no, like I want to be a nurse. Like this is cool. I want to help people. Did I ever think I was going to be doing plastic surgery? Not in a million fucking years. Like ever think about like working with top surgeons and celebrities and starting a podcast? I would be like, you're crazy. So there's so much that we can do as nurses. And I love that we both started from the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I love that you were in those settings as a child too. It definitely changes your perspective.
Definitely. Now let's get back into getting into aesthetics as a new grad because getting any job as a new grad is hard and landing aesthetics, like take us on that journey because that's pretty fucking cool.
Okay. So first of all, I am very big into speaking things into existence. Like
manifestation.
Girl, my whole life. A big thing that I see people like in my comments or just in everyday life asking me, they're like, oh, but it's so hard. Like, I just feel like it's so hard to get your foot in the door. There's no jobs available. Like they're speaking all these negative things, like literally telling themselves like, I'm never going to be able to get my foot in the door. I'm never going to be able to get a job in aesthetics. It's so hard if you don't have experience. In my experience, like while I was in nursing school, I would tell everyone, like, I didn't care. I was like, I'm working in aesthetics after I graduate.
Manifestation queen.
Yes, I literally, in my head, I was like, well, I have no choice. Like, I will do whatever it takes. I will go wherever I need to go to get my foot in the door because I'm not going to work in a hospital. And what makes me upset is there are a lot of like older nurses in the aesthetic space who are like, you have to have hospital experience.
That's what I got told too as in nursing school. Like they were training you to go to a hospital. There was no other, like you're going to go here, you're going to go here. When you go to the hospital after school, this is what you need to know. It's like, girl, no, we're skipping the whole hospital scene. Absolutely not.
Like, of course, that's what they're going to teach us in nursing school. But I'm like, what could I be doing in a hospital that would make me, that would teach me more about aesthetics? Nothing. Like, yes, maybe like bedside manner and patient care, but I learned all those things as a CNA,
Exactly.
So for someone to tell you that you need hospital experience before you work in aesthetics, I am a firm believer that that's absolutely not true. I think it's more important to go out, shadow people, get extra trainings, take other courses, like spend your time doing that rather than working in like slaving away in a hospital,
For sure.
But back to your question, how I got my foot in the door, I'm a big believer in a good cover letter. I have 2 cover letters linked in my Instagram and my TikTok bio, like 2 example cover letters of literally like basically word for word what I used in my cover letters that landed me interviews and jobs with no experience. Because even now at my new job, I'm helping hire a new social media manager.
Uh-huh.
And anyone that doesn't send in the cover letter, I'm like, okay, like what,
Well,
what?
I have been lazy. I'm like, I'm not going to type a whole new cover letter for this damn job. And I just redid my resume.
Mhm.
I will admit I have been lazy. But for the jobs that I really wanted, like I have submitted a cover letter. Like
Yes.
if I
It's
really
so,
want something,
and
it's an extra step that people don't do.
it's so important, especially if you have no experience. Like you could have this glowing resume, like with all these years of experience in aesthetics. And like, yeah, that might help you get the job. But if you are a new grad or if you have no experience, you have to show why you're passionate, why they should
Yes.
hire you despite having no experience.
Despite
Like
have nothing on that resume.
exactly, because a lot of people are looking for the right person, and there are so many doctors, NPs, and just med spas that are willing to train the right person.
Yeah.
So
And
my biggest
they
thing is like, yeah, show them why.
they love training new people because they get them oriented to their way, their practice, how they want things done.
Exactly,
Because
exactly.
sometimes as an experienced nurse, we already come in like, this is the way I do things and
Hmm.
sorry. And they don't like that. So they rather have someone fresh out of school and it's like, okay, I can kind of shape them and form them into what's best for
100%.
this practice.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I've met so many people who hire the right person and train them from the ground up. And that's the way to do it. I mean, just keep your mind open to those possibilities. Don't keep telling yourself that, no one's going to hire me because really there are people looking for people with no experience. So,
Yeah.
mhm.
Now let's get into your day to day in aesthetics. What does a typical day for you look like at the med spa from when you wake up to when you clock out?
So I love my job and I'm so grateful and lucky that I wake up in the morning and it's not like I'm dreading to go to work. I
I
wake up
love
and I'm
that.
like, I get to go to work today and I get to see my, like maybe old patients who I love. And you create like these lifelong connections with your
Uh
patients in
huh.
aesthetics because and that's something that, you don't really get to do in a hospital because your patients, they come and go, but our patients like
Yep.
will literally stay with us for years.
They come back to you. If they like their injector, they are coming
Yes.
back.
Yes.
Yeah.
A typical day for me is I get to work. I like to look at my schedule for the day, see
Mm-hmm.
who I'm seeing, what I'm doing. But I would say like a typical day, it's a lot of Botox. It's the number one thing that I do at both places I work at. Laser treatments, microneedling,
Yes.
and then
Morpheus
like,
8.
yeah, uh-huh. Actually, we've been doing less radio frequency microneedling and more
Ooh.
like skin resurfacing lasers at the places that I
Okay.
work. But and then like filler here and there, I would say like it depends on the day, but I don't do like a ton of filler on a daily basis. Like maybe I'll have 2 or 3 patients,
Uh-huh.
but I think, or in the places I work, more people are becoming more and more interested in regenerative medicine. So
Yes.
PRP, PRF, easy gel, microneedling, like skin boosters, focusing on the skin
Yes.
wrap. So, I think everyone is kind of scaling back a little bit on the fillers and
The
doing like,
trend right now is skin, how to get
oh
that
yes.
clean girl aesthetic like that.
Hmm.
And I love that for everybody because everyone
Same.
should be working on their skin
Absolutely.
24/7. What are some of your favorite treatments to perform right now that you're like, oh, I love this?
Yeah. Okay. Microneedling. Anytime
Okay.
someone asks me, I feel like I get the question a lot, like, what is the number one treatment you would recommend? I always say microneedling. Like, if there's one thing that you should be doing, microneedling, hands down. My second favorite thing is PRF Easy Gel. I just love regenerative medicine, not only in aesthetics, but in other fields of medicine too. I'm a
Uh-huh.
very like holistic person. So anything that's natural and is using your own body's healing
Mm-hmm.
mechanism to promote collagen or, new collagen and elastin formation, I'm all into. So I love PRF Easy Gel. And I just love, I mean, you've seen my social media. I love skin. So
Yes. You're a skin
anything,
queen.
anything to do with the skin, I love. So that's why I love microneedling. I love lasers too.
Yeah.
And
And I love
yeah,
that you're showing like everyone thinks of aesthetics and Botox and fillers. Like it's this old school mentality of
yes,
crazy, overdone. Like, no, like nowadays aesthetics, like you can have such a clean girl, natural look like that enhances
totally.
your natural beauty. And I
Yes,
love that is coming to the forefront right now. Like
I
that
agree.
is we're in. Natural is
Yeah,
in right now. And I love
yes,
that. And
I absolutely love that.
yes. And what do you think I'm all asking for me under IPRP? I'm gonna get it in the next like month and I'm
Oh, you
so
are?
excited.
Are
Is
are
it
you
worth
gonna
it?
Are you going to do PRP or PRF? Like easy
PRF.
gel.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's amazing. Like hands down, it is one of the best things that you can do, especially for the under eye area. I mean,
Oh,
there are even studies being done that have shown that PRF is stimulating new bone growth.
wow.
So even putting it along the jawline, in the chin, I think it's called osteogenesis, right? Like
Hmm.
literally stimulating new bone growth in the face.
I love
There's
that.
only been a few studies on that, but I think that's really cool and it's
Yeah.
great for the under eyes for sure.
I
I think I'm gonna do it soon too.
Because I was like, because, as we get older in age and we're working so much, especially nurses, like our under eyes, like you could
Hmm.
really tell how tired someone is. And I'm like, the biggest insecurity about me, and it's not that bad, but my under eyes, and I wanted to go get filler. And Jasmine's like,
Hmm.
don't go and get filler. It's going to migrate. Like it's going
Yep.
to look puffy, blah, blah. She gave me this whole thing. And I was like, God
Yes.
damn it. I was like, all
PRF.
right. And she
Yeah.
was like, just go get under eye PRF. And I was like, okay, okay. So I started doing my research and I was like, all right, I will try this instead of filler.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
I was like, all right, we'll do that. So we'll see how that turns out, but I'm excited. So hopefully it works for me.
You need to do a few sessions as with anything, but
Yes.
it's amazing.
Yeah. And what do you think are some common misconceptions people have about working in aesthetics or plastic surgery? Like besides like the overfilled, like a lot of
Yeah.
people think it's like the nurse is superficial or the nurse is not a real nurse. Like, do you get any of that
Um,
BS?
I'm so lucky that like, because people ask me questions kind of similar to this, even about like social media, like how do you deal with hate comments or things like that,
Mm-hmm.
like the negative connotation with aesthetics and social media. I'm so lucky that I don't get comments like that. You know, I never
You're
get
on the
people.
good side of social.
I am. But I know that probably in like a broad, like if you're taking a really broad look at aesthetics and people don't know a lot about it, yeah, maybe they're making the assumption that it's rooted in vanity, that people are just getting things done to their
Yep.
faces because they're vain and they're obsessed with
Mm-hmm.
how they look. And that is so not true. Like this is something that I'm a huge advocate for. I was just talking about this yesterday, but insecurities. Studies show like detrimental to a person's life
A hundred
because
percent.
when I was reading this book and I cannot remember what the book is called, but the quote has just stuck with me. So basically, people, especially women in our society, are so when we have insecurities, we become so focused on
Hyper
our
fixated on it.
yes inward. So like so much so that we literally cannot be in the present moment and we cannot focus our attention outward and on the people around us and on life around us because we're so, I mean, if you've had an insecurity, like I've
Yeah.
had some bad insecurities in the past where like I felt like I couldn't even be present in a conversation because I was focused on like my
Is that
skin.
person looking at this? Is that
Yes.
person, can they tell? Can they, you're like, it's
So
crazy.
yes. So you know, everyone knows exactly how that feels.
Yeah.
And the beauty of aesthetics and plastics is being able to change that for someone to the point where they can finally let go of that
Mm-hmm.
inward focus and focus on life around them. And they can be in the present moment. Oh my gosh. And that's literally life changing for people.
100% life changing.
So I mean, sure,
Does
some aesthetics can be like vanity, but the biggest thing for me is we are changing people's lives.
And
So,
when you left Idaho and you were
uh-huh.
telling your family and your friends, like, I'm going to go be an aesthetic nurse, did they have any misconceptions about, like, wait, what? You're going to do what? Where? Like, oh, you're going to go to LA and you're going to turn into this, like, crazy person?
It came as no shock to anyone, I will say. My entire life, ever since I was like a little young girl, I have been so obsessed with anything related to beauty, which I've always found to be like kind of weird because I have four brothers, so I have no sisters. I'm the
Oh,
only girl in my family, and my mom wears no makeup. Like growing up, my mom would have, I remember she had one tube of this blue CoverGirl mascara and like that would last her like the entire year.
yeah.
So I don't know where it came from, but I've always had this huge love for beauty, skincare, and then especially I had super bad acne in high school and college, and then
Mm-hmm.
I got psoriasis, so like, I've dealt with skin
Oof.
issues.
Yeah.
So just like my love for beauty on of the skin struggles that I've been through, I mean,
You
it's
were
my life.
born with it, girl.
So it came as no surprise to anyone. And
good transition for you.
Yes, I have very supportive people in my life, and my parents are very proud of me now. So even
Yes.
though they may not fully understand, but
They might not understand the chaos, but at least they're supportive.
yes, and they know it's
Now,
me. So
I love that. Now, for tips for nurses breaking into aesthetics, if nurses are interested into transitioning into aesthetics, where do you recommend that they start? Should they go to private practice? Should they go to a med spa? Like, should they go take an injector course? Like,
yeah.
what do you recommend right now?
So the biggest thing for me was a course that I took called the Aesthetic Immersion. I just put this on my Instagram stories the other day, but
Uh-huh.
it's based in California, but so many people that took that course with me came from all over the US.
Oh, wow.
It was like didactic. So you had coursework that you completed beforehand. You get continuing education credits, and then you had a full 10-hour day of hands-on injecting with two of the most well-known injectors, I think,
Ooh.
in the aesthetic world, Dr. Gideon Kwok and Lori Robertson, who's a family nurse practitioner. That taught me a lot about the foundations of aesthetics, facial anatomy, patient safety. It's literally called the foundations of aesthetics. So that on top of, I always suggest if you're trying to get your foot in the door, go to a chain or like a laser spa. Like for example, Laserway. I know so many nurses who started at Laserway. That just gives you, when I first started, I was like, I want to start doing lip fillers. I want to start doing fillers and Botox right away. And I'm so glad that I didn't do that because
Good.
I think you need to slow down and realize that good things take time.
Yes.
And starting out doing lasers, microneedling, learning about the skin, learning about the anatomy, learning how to do a good consult with a patient, learning how to make a patient feel comfortable with you
Love that.
talking about their face and their skin, and then slowly building onto that. It's like a doctor doesn't just go straight into doing open heart surgery, like they have to start somewhere.
Yeah, I
And
love
think
that.
that's
You guys got to
important too.
start at the basics. You can't just go head first. And this is still patient care. Yeah, you're doing lip filler, but that
Exactly.
is someone's face. And
Exactly.
you don't want your reputation to be ruined your first year of trying to be an aesthetics nurse. Like,
Yes.
start with the basics, start with the skin treatments, the lasers, learning your bedside manner. Everything that you just said is so important. And I don't think, especially new grads are thinking about, even a nurse coming from a hospital. Yeah, I see, a lot of ICU nurses transitioning or a lot of med surge nurses transitioning to aesthetics, but like the hospital's a whole different ballgame and a whole different group of people. Everyone has to start at the bottom and work their way up just for patient
100%.
safety. Definitely.
Yes, for patient safety, like we have to remember and learn in nursing school, patient safety is the number one thing. And that doesn't change when you're working in the field of aesthetics. Just because you're not in a hospital, patient safety doesn't go out the door. So even though, like, if I could tell my new nurse self 3 years ago, like, just be patient, learn the basics. And I did that. But in the moment, I was like, oh, I want to be doing these other things that all the other nurses are doing. But I'm so glad that I have that foundation and I worked my way up. It makes you a well-rounded, great aesthetic nurse.
And I definitely love that you took, these certifications and these training courses are really pricey. We know that they can run anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000, especially with
so expensive
with who you go and train under. But I think to be a really good nurse injector, just be good. You really gotta do it. You gotta bite the bullet and you gotta invest in yourself, because if you invest now, the outcomes can only be greater in the future.
You have to. I mean, it's so worth it in the long run, because how else are you going to learn facial anatomy and injection safety? I mean, it sucks that we don't learn this stuff in nursing school, but if you're going into nursing school and you want to be an aesthetic nurse, just know that you have to be ready to spend that money outside of nursing school as well.
You have to.
Yeah.
And how important is it networking or shadowing in this aesthetic industry? Like, I think networking is huge because like with us, I didn't know anything about plastic surgery and these surgeons. And, you start working with different surgeons and you meet their social media person, and then you meet their scrub tech and you meet their patient care coordinator, and then you network and you meet this nurse, and it's like, oh my God, networking is huge. And I'm sure it's the same in aesthetics.
Yeah, absolutely. Networking is huge, which is why once you become an aesthetic nurse, like all these reps are sending you to these dinners and
Yes.
events and things. And I think it's important to go to those, make connections, make friends in this space. But a good tip, if you're not in the world already, so you're not getting invited to those events, social media, girl. Social
Yes.
media is the best tool for meeting people, making connections. Like, social media is a powerhouse. It's literally what it's for, is to connect with people. And yeah, make your connections on social media if you can't meet people in person, you know?
Seriously, message people, reach out, comment under their posts, support them, follow them, and sooner or
100%.
later people will reach out to you. Now, what should a new nurse not do when trying to land a job at a med spa? Like, what are like the no-nos? Like, do not do this if you're trying to get into the med spa world. Any red flags that you can think of?
I mean, like I said earlier, not having a cover letter, it's like, okay. Literally, like, imagine as a new nurse, you have no experience. So you have like your pre-nursing school jobs on your resume. Like, maybe you were like a
The boba shop, the mall.
Yeah. So red flag number one is no cover letter.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, what are other red flags? Maybe you have to be a people person.
Yes.
Aesthetics. Don't be afraid to use your voice and show your personality when you're interviewing, because like I said, a lot of places are just looking for the right person. They're looking for someone who can relate to their patient demographic, or just be like a nice, down to earth person, because that's half of what you're doing, is just talking to patients.
That's what I was going to lean into. It's like, I feel that nurses that want to become injectors, they think that like, oh, like I need to be this personality where I know everything, like this very not personable, not able to relate to people, walking with their Louis bag, full glam, like I own this shit. And it's like, hold on. Like, I feel like that's a red flag. If you come into this interview, like, yeah, I don't clean up blood, but I'm going, like, I just want to inject filler all day. I'm not going to clean the back. I'm not going to clean my med room. Don't you have someone to do that? Like, you know what I mean?
No, you're so right. That is such a red flag. I have maybe met just a few people who are like that. And yeah, that's
a red flag. Just because you're doing aesthetics doesn't mean you're like this whole different personality. Like, you're still a nurse. You're still relating people. You still need to have great bedside manner.
100%.
And guess what? You still need to take out the trash. You still need to wipe down your room. Like, there's still stuff that you need to do.
Because that's a really good point. Keep in mind that so many of the patients coming in to a med spa are insecure, or they're insecure about something on their face. Like, you know, a lot of people tell me, I looked in the mirror and I felt like I don't even recognize myself, or I felt like I've aged 10 years overnight. And if you're going to be this girl that's like presenting as like perfect and like all these things, you know?
Yeah.
An insecure person is probably not going to want to open up to you and talk to you and see you as a nurse. So I think just
definitely
being human and realizing that we have a lot of fragile patients who come through the door, and treating them with kind, or being able to present as like this kind, down to earth person, is so crucial in aesthetics.
And it will take you farther in your career. If more people like you, it will take you farther in your career in the long run.
It's not all superficial in aesthetics.
And do you think having a social media presence helps nurses like in this field, or is it not really, does it not matter?
So that's why I started social media in the first place, was because I knew if I wanted to excel in aesthetics, I mean, that's where we get most of our patients in this day and age, is from social media.
And seeing all these before and afters and being personable. And I love yours because it's like so beauty filled that, oh, she's not like, she knows a lot about skincare. She knows a lot about hair products. Like, she's probably a great injector. You're not just showing 50 lips all day.
Yeah. And that's something that I've kind of struggled with over the last year of doing social media. When I first started posting, I'm like, but should I just keep this career oriented? Like, only because if you looked at my Instagram a year ago, it was completely different. It was literally just before and after photos. I realized that I always say, like, my career does not define me, even though it's a huge part of me. It's not the only thing about me. Like, we are all multifaceted people. Like, I'm not just a nurse. At the end of the day, I'm a girl who loves beauty, skincare, hair care, makeup.
Yeah.
And I think it's okay that my social media conveys that, you know?
I love it. It makes you stand out 100%, and you're not just this like hyper focused on like filler or Botox or whatever. It's so broad to say it. Like, you know a lot about everything, which makes you like people are interested. And I was so interested when I found your
Totally.
page. I was like, wow, she knows a lot about everything. Like, that's
Yeah.
cool.
And I mean, like I was saying earlier, a lot of our patients, you get to know your patients over all these appointments that you've seen with them. And they want to see what I'm doing in my everyday life too. Like I want to stay,
Yeah.
I've become friends with my patients, and that's what social media is for, is to stay connected with people who you don't see all the time.
Yeah. And I love, like, people love seeing behind the scenes. I feel like it
Yes.
almost builds like more of a trust. Like, it
Mhm.
builds a community, it builds trust. It's like, oh, this is cool. Like, she's showing us the behind the scenes. Like, oh, wow, she is really a great nurse. Or, oh, wow, she really does care about her job.
Mhm. Yeah. So social media is totally, I mean, it's not necessary. Like you don't compare yourself to all these injectors who have like hundreds of thousands of followers. It's not
Yeah.
necessary, but it will definitely help you connect with your patients. And I love using my Instagram stories. I've been doing more of this recently to connect with my patients or people who are interested in getting treatments. I love using my Instagram stories to have them ask me questions or just to
Uh-huh.
post like what I'm doing at work that day. Instagram stories are a great way to do that.
All the new grad nurses on the block definitely start that social media. And I think, that it'll definitely help in the long run as long as you keep it, professional and still be cute, still have fun, and don't
Mm-hmm.
go too crazy on social media because we know how some people can get out there. Don't be twerking on your professional page.
Yes, never. Not in the
Talk
scrubs.
not in the scrubs. Social media and content creation. You've built such an impressive platform on TikTok, like I said, with over 100 followers and on Instagram. And did it take you a while to kind of get the ball rolling, or how long did
Yeah.
it take you and how did you get started with your content?
It's been, I want to say, a year and a half now, but girl, it was a hustle at first. Like
Uh-huh.
I was working in dermatology. I was working in skin cancer when I first started social media, and I was working at a med spa too. So I had two jobs,
Wow.
and I would film before work. Yeah, literally at like 6 a.m. You can see some of my
Oh,
old videos. I was waking up at like 5 a.m. and I started filming. I would go to the gym, then I would go to work and vlog my day, and then I would come home, edit, post. Like my days, even though I was working an 8-hour shift as a nurse, I was working 12 hours.
I feel you. Once you start content, it takes up your whole day and
Oh,
your whole
it takes up
weekend.
so much time. But I was determined. I was like, you know what? If I want to excel on social media, because
You
again,
have to hustle.
you have to treat it like a full-time job. So that's what I did. And I've just grown my platform over the last year and a half from consistently posting, and it's been so crazy, but so worth it. I think like maybe I want to say the first few months was the hardest because you're learning social media. You're
Yeah.
getting into the habit of like filming and editing and posting. Like you're still just learning. But I always say that social media is a skill just like any other thing.
You
Like if
have the
you're
skill you have to acquire.
Exactly. If you're learning a new sport, I always say you're not going to jump on the volleyball court and be a professional the first day.
Yeah.
Why would you expect your first video to get a million views? People get so discouraged when things don't perform well, but I'm like, you're just starting.
You
Give
just
it time.
starting. Yeah. And what
Yeah.
videos helped build your following? Like, were you like, oh, shoot, like this is catching people's attention. I need to do more of it.
I think I was really scared to talk on social
Ah,
media when I first started. Like I didn't want to speak to the camera. Like, okay, I
I
can film
know.
myself doing this. But when I started talking, like people then they realize they're like, oh, this is a real person. And
Yes.
and when people can relate, that's what makes them attracted to you or to your page.
And that's how you
So
built that community. So all your
yeah.
talking videos, you just started talking and it took off.
So when I started talking and really educating rather than like when I was first trying to figure out social media, people want to be like, oh, day in the life of whatever. But when you first start, no one knows who you are. Making your content focus on your audience, like the videos on my Instagram that have done really well are like this. I made a Botox video. I was like, these are all the places you can get Botox in your face and how much it's going to cost you. Like I'm making
Ooh,
this for them to understand more.
yes.
So when I started thinking like, okay, what can I post that's going to help someone else? That's
Hmm.
when things started to take off. So yeah.
I love that. And have you ever faced any backlash or criticism for sharing medical or aesthetic info online?
Like I said, I'm pretty lucky with my comments. Like I get some, I try to stay, well, I do. I stay within my scope of practice. I'm not giving advice on things that I don't know about or
Uh-huh.
things that I haven't been thoroughly educated about. Like even a lot of the skincare videos that I make, I'll be researching, like making sure that I am giving the correct information. Like I'll
Yes.
literally pull up articles just in
Case.
case,
Yeah.
like
Like,
someone leaves a comment like, oh, like you can't use niacinamide and vitamin C. Okay, well, here's a peer-reviewed article
here you go.
that I cited.
I love that. Definitely, you're doing your research, you're well informing. Because I know it's hard with the medical field with nurses and doctors, not so
Mhm.
much doctors because they have the doctor title to back them up,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
nurses going on social media. And it's like, it's a little tricky, it's a little hard, and HIPAA and, giving out the right, recommendations and saying always check with your doctor first, like to cover your
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing about skincare is I don't have to be like, oh, check with your doctor. Although I did
Yeah.
make a video the other day where I was talking about like just skincare, like why your skincare isn't working. And I said, after you've done all of these tips, you've been doing these things for 3 months, if your skin still hasn't improved, that's when you need to take the extra step and
Yes,
go see a dermatologist or go see like a functional medicine doctor, something like that, you know? Um,
definitely. And what has been your most viral post that you were surprised by? Like shit hit the fan. You woke up one day and you were like, wait, what?
oh my God, what is my most viral video?
I would say pull out your phone right now, but you're filming on
I
it.
know I'm
So
filming on
use
it.
your best.
I mean, I've had some of the most viral things. I think I microneedled salmon sperm into my face, PDRN,
Oh, I saw
polydeoxyribonucleic
that.
acid.
I saw that.
And people were like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah,
Made my skin look so good, by the way. So I
I
will be
love
doing that
it.
again soon. That was a viral one, or literally just like a year ago, it was one of my first viral videos, and I think it has like 7 million views.
Ooh,
I was in my scrubs, and I was like putting on, I was putting on like my lip liner and putting my hair up, and
that's how I found you.
and
That video.
yeah,
Yes.
and I think I captioned it like being a dermatology nurse, so you get to accessorize and put on makeup every day because that's so me. Like I
Yes,
had
the
all my
videos where
rings,
you're
my
putting your
jewelry.
hair up, I love you. Or let's do my hair for surgery or
Yes,
whatever.
okay, actually, that video, I will say, that was one that surprised me. I didn't think, because sometimes, I mean, once you start doing social media, you kind of know what's going to perform well. But
Yeah.
that video, it's pinned on my Instagram. It's like,
I saw that one too. I think that was
yeah,
one or the second one where I found you and you were getting ready to go
yes,
into surgery and you're putting
yep.
your hair up and then you're putting your cap on.
Yes, yeah, it was like do a slick back with me at work, and I'm in
Yes.
my surgical scrubs, and yeah,
Yes.
that one I didn't think that was gonna do well, but people went crazy on that video for some
It's funny when
reason.
you really don't think about a video that ends up doing well. And then when you take like all this time and take notes and get the right
Don't even
angles and the right lighting, and then it's a fucking flop, and you're like,
don't even
you
get me
know
started.
what?
Don't even get me started. That makes me so upset, but
I
it's
feel
so
your
true.
pain.
Yeah,
And
so
you
true.
are still balancing being a full-time nurse and creating consistent content. Oh my gosh, girl. Bless you.
It's crazy. Actually, so I work part-time now, but I was
Okay.
working full-time and doing social media for over a year. So I was working 5 days a week and I was doing social media. I mean, I was posting like 1 to 3 videos a day
Oh
plus
my gosh.
my two jobs for over a year. Yeah.
And now have you scaled back to part-time
hmm
because you're making a consistent income on social media?
Yeah. So
My goodness, I'm so proud of you.
it's crazy. Thank you. Yeah. And you know what? That wasn't my goal when I first started social media. My goal was help people with their skin because I know what the struggle is like with acne and
Uh-huh.
psoriasis. And that was pretty much it. And also get patients coming to see me through my
Of
social media,
course, building your client portfolio.
and it totally blossomed into something else. And now I'm so lucky. I have like all these amazing people following me that I've cultivated people with the same mindset, people who are interested in skincare,
Yes,
beauty, nursing. I have
I
so
love
many
that.
nurses that follow me, which I love.
Yes,
It's just amazing. Yeah.
I
It's
love
so
that for
cool.
you. And what's your most consistent platform that you're making the most? Is it more of TikTok or is it more Instagram or is it kind of the
Um,
same? Because I heard
I,
with Instagram
yeah.
nowadays, it's a little hard for content creators to make money off Instagram just because it's so saturated. I feel like more people
Yeah.
are making good income on TikTok.
Most of my income comes from brand deals.
Uh-huh.
But I've learned like brands will pay more if you have a larger Instagram following. So even though like my larger following is on TikTok,
TikTok.
I still like brands will still pay me good money for a brand deal on TikTok. But if the roles were reversed and if I had 100,000 on Instagram,
Ooh,
like my brand deals would probably be like doubled or tripled.
money in the bank. But
Brands
you'll
pay so much
definitely
more on
get there.
Instagram. Yeah, yes. So
Your
the next,
content, your content is so good. It's so clean. Like
thank
you
you.
could tell that you put your life and soul into this. So this year, it's girl,
Yes.
we're manifesting. You're getting double in those brand deals.
This is the year of Instagram growth. Like I put all this work into TikTok and now over the last like 2 months, I've put a lot of work into my Instagram.
It's okay.
I grew, I'm almost at 20K just in 2 months from focusing on my Instagram.
Yes, and I feel
Yeah.
you because I don't know when I first reached out to you, we're
Mhm.
still small. All Things Plastics was started last year. Like
Okay.
we are still very small. Once I started doing these interviews,
Mhm.
I interviewed recently a girl named Emily from Toronto. She got a
Okay.
facelift at 28, a mid
Oh my
facelift,
God.
rhino.
No, I know exactly who you're talking.
Okay. And she had about like 11,000 followers, but her story, when I found her, I was like, oh my God, a mid facelift on 28. Like this is such a good story. And her one viral video has over like 7 million views. And I was like, can I
That's
please interview
insane.
you? Like you're
Yeah.
iconic. Like I would love to hear your story.
Mhm.
I interviewed her. The real collab that we did took off, did so good. And then
Nice.
literally
Yeah.
she posted a reel and just tagged us. I didn't even
Mhm.
ask. Like I
Yeah.
was like, thank you so much.
Mhm.
And that video went viral.
Really?
Literally,
Oh my
it's
God.
already at 2.4 million
No.
views.
What are you
And she was
talking
like,
about her facelift in the video?
so our real collab is over 60,000 views.
Okay.
But then a couple days later, she posted another like before and after of her face. And she put
Mhm.
in her Instagram caption, go listen to All Things Plastics podcast. I just told my whole story. And she
Love
didn't
it.
know it was like a 15-second reel. That
Mhm.
reel went viral.
That's
And
amazing. That's
ever
amazing.
since then, we jumped from 2 weeks ago. No, maybe it's 3 weeks now, going on 3 weeks. We were at 650 followers and now we're at 2,100.
Yeah. Yes. See,
I'm
like
just like, wait, I'm like, did someone buy us followers? What the
no,
hell is happening?
it's
And
the
it's like,
power of Instagram Reels.
and I was like, this has to be fake. I texted her. I was like, Emily, what is going on? And she's like, the video went viral. I didn't even think it would go viral. And her numbers do well. And she's now at like 20,000 followers and she was just at 11,000.
So crazy.
And I'm like, oh my God, it's because it was like so crazy. I was just like,
Yeah.
my content, because I edit, I'm producer, I'm editor, I'm lighting, I'm hair and makeup.
You're
I'm everything. It's a one-man show over
hair and
here.
makeup, yeah.
And I was like, wow, I was like, our content must be decent because people are actually, yeah, they clicked on our page. They can click on our page and like, oh, whatever, it's just a little plastic surgery page. But I'm like,
Yeah.
our content might be decent because people
Yeah.
are following.
Yes, 100%. That's amazing.
Yeah. And I
Congratulations.
think I'm like, this is crazy from 3 weeks gaining over almost 2,000 followers and like followers are coming in. The Real Housewives of New Jersey, one of those ladies followed us.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. You know what? Do you know?
I was like, what is happening?
One of like the Golden Bachelor ladies followed me. Teresa followed me. I was like, hey, girl.
Yeah.
Come
I'm
see
getting
me.
like influencers following us and we're still small. Yeah, we're a little over 2,000 followers and it's growing, but I'm like, oh my God, like, wait, shit's starting to really roll. But the power of just like collabing and videos and good editing and good lighting and good conversations, it's crazy what it can do.
Absolutely.
And
Love
I
it.
appreciate you so much for letting us collab and letting us hear your story and interview
course.
you. You're our first aesthetics nurse on the podcast. So
Really? No way.
I'm so glad you are. Yes, because I've just been interviewing a lot of people about their surgery journeys, a lot of influencers and girls who have great stories. And I came across your page and I was like, I need to interview Claire.
It was no, honestly, this was perfect. I'm glad that you found me.
I'm so glad that I did. You are amazing. You are gorgeous. You had such a great story.
Thank
And
you.
definitely to the girls and nurses looking to get into aesthetics, they need to follow you for all the tips and tips on even
Yes.
skincare and beauty
Yes.
because you are killing the game. And I know 2025, you're going to take off.
Fingers crossed. It's on my vision board.
And do you have any other goals coming up? Anything coming up in 2025, professional or personal?
So I'm on the 2025 Sephora squad, which basically means I'm working with Sephora for the next year just on just a lot of beauty stuff.
I love that.
So that, and then honestly, just still killing it at work and trying to see
Yeah.
as many patients as I can. My goal is just to keep doing what I'm doing and keep growing in what I'm doing, learning as a nurse and growing as a content creator and cultivating great relationships with my patients and my followers. That's the
I
life.
love that. And a nurse on the Sephora squad. Oh my
Yeah.
God. I'm so
Yes.
excited.
Represent.
Represent us nurses out there, girl. I love that.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much, Claire. You are amazing, and I'm excited to follow your journey and
Uh,
see where 2025 takes you. I'm definitely going to be keeping up for sure.
I will be keeping up with you guys too.
And we will definitely tag Claire. And if you guys want to go ask her questions about skincare, beauty, whatever it is, or just getting into aesthetics, definitely hit her up on her TikTok or her Instagram. We will definitely tag her for you guys. But other than that, we appreciate you. We love you. And thank you
Oh my
so
gosh.
much.
Thank you so much.
And to all the girlies listening, we will talk to you next week. Bye.